Hey YouTube, welcome to Beyond the Hype, the series I created to give you a realistic look at new Pokemon with new moves to tell you whether they are actually worth the investment or if other content creators are just hyping them up for the sake of hyping them up for clicks. So we are looking at Greedent, and Greedent is a little more cut and dry, and it's just whether you actually think how you kind of looked at it before versus a slight improvement. So on the screen, you had its fast moves before: Bite, Bullet Seed, Tackle. You now have Mud Shot. So Mud Shot is again one of the best charging fast moves in the game. You get 9 energy per second here, as opposed to getting what is 8.67 on the Bullet Seed, which was the fastest one before. So that 0.33 before. So what this means is, in practice, so here's the thing. In practice, what it means is not a ton. It means maybe one more Body Slam over like 3 cycles. Because if you look, Body Slam is 35 energy, right? Crunch is 45. So it takes 4 Mud Shots to get to Body Slam, and it takes 5 to get to Crunch. Bullet Seed is 13 energy, so it takes 3 Bullet Seeds to get to Body Slam and 4 to get to that. But again, this is a 1.5 turn move, so getting to the Crunch in 4 here means you're doing it in 6 seconds as opposed to doing it in the 5 seconds, because it is only a one turn move or a 2 turn move here. Mud Shot's 2 turn, Bullet Seed's 3 turns, right? So from that perspective, just being able to, it's always easier to sort of time. It's always easier to time 2 turn fast moves than it is to 3. So that is a pro. You have you're losing a little damage, but again, you don't really care if you're using Bullet Seed or Mud Shot. You don't really care about the damage. You care about the energy per second. So yes, this is an upgrade. No two ways about it. This is a upgrade in terms of quicker energy, quicker fast move, 2 versus 3 turn fast move, which allows you better. It allows you to get to these actual moves quicker in some situations. Like again, Bullet Seed just kind of plays out a little longer. And I think maybe in like the second or third cycle, you get to 1 Body Slam faster than you would Bullet Seed. I probably think it's probably like the 3rd or 4th cycle you get an extra Body Slam in there. So upgrade. The only problem with Greedent is, even with this upgrade, it does not move the needle in terms of how it plays. Greedent was always a decent save swap, but it always still had issues. The issues being it doesn't hit hard. Your moves, Body Slam and Crunch, are limited. You don't have any real move to threaten. It's truly just Body Slam spam, Crunch if you can hit for super effective against like Psychics or Ghosts. That's nice, being the normal typing, resist Ghost move and hit it from Crunch. So that's great. But like, again, you're now, I guess you can have your Mud Shot instead of Bullet Seed against like Steels, but for the most part, you're still going to lose to like Registeel. You're still going to lose to Fighters. You're still going to lose generally to Flyers, because your fast move is resisted and you can only do Body Slam spam, and they can probably just take you out with fast moves there. So from that perspective, it doesn't play substantially different than how you do it. It's still a safe swap. You're maybe putting more Body Slam spam pressure on them for a shield. So maybe from that perspective, you can grab shields. So what I was thinking was, if you're going to have problems with Flyers and Fighters, Frostlass is a good one. And then I was just shooting like, I want to use Meganium because I really like Meganium. And I'm like, oh, this team's double weak to fire. I won't see any fires. There's barely any fires. Here's a fire right on my first one. At least it's a half flying. So that is nice. So we just got to kind of stay in here. And luckily, Frostlass is just one of like the best. Powder Snow, good charging move. Avalanche's Shadow Ball is just so strong. So I will probably just get farmed down here, but I will grab 2 shields in the process. Greedent is relatively tanky. Not like super crazy by any means necessary. I'm actually just going to look it up, compare it to, because you use it as a safe swap, and I'm just thinking about your other safe swaps, right? So in terms of like Sableye as a safe swap, you're just killing it with the stamina. I think something that is more realistic is Lickitung. So the question is like, why use Greedent over Lickitung? Because in my opinion, 200 higher stat product on Lickitung, slightly lower attack, higher defense, higher stamina on Lickitung, better move sets. I think overall you had the body slam spam the same. Mud shot, Lick actually charges relatively quickly, but does more damage than mud shots. And then Crunch first power up, just sort of just both meh moves. So I think Lickitung is still the answer for safe swap in my opinion. But Greedent. But if you don't have a Lickitung and you're not there with the XLs yet, I think Greedent is a fine substitute as a safe swap. Just gonna look at its matchups against the Great League here with Mudshot. And what I like about this Pokemon compared to the other Pokemons, I've already done a couple. Well, I got one this afternoon, hit one top, and then I've done Steelix. What I like about Greedent is that it's not like a bait dependent Pokemon, right? You're either on Body Slam or Crunch. You never have to like, oh, I got to bait a Body Slam so I could throw a nuke. It's like, no, it's either I'm throwing a super fast okay move in Body Slam or a slightly more energy okay move in Crunch, right? So that's essentially it. It has an 18-24 record, sort of a middle distribution, but again, biggest problems are exactly what I said. Scrafty, Medicham, Fighters, Scrafty, Medicham, Toxicroak, Deoxys, Obstagoon, Vigoroth, right? List goes on there. Flyers, Charizard's there. Pelipper, Noctowl, even with the nerf, Altaria. So there's all your losses. Normal Swampert just going, looks like Hydro probably just wins there. Mandibuzz, Mantine, Gligar, right? So all your Flyers. And then a couple like the harder hitting Pokemon like Venusaur, Swampert. Like those are your losses. And then you have like some losses, some wins here, but against main meta. Stunfisk, Sableye, Azumarill, Registeel, Bastiodon, Drapion. Those are probably just like... Those are just like neutralish. They could go either way. And then looks like you have some wins against some of the meta. Well, again, Lickitung makes sense because... So your main wins are going to be against Ghost. I'm seeing a lot of Ghost here, which makes sense because you're normal, so you resist the Ghost move. So Lickitung, Lickitung's not a Ghost, but it has a Lick Fast move. Trevenant, Jellicent, Cofagrigus, Sandslash. Those are your main wins. You don't have like a lot of main wins against like other just normal type matchups. Anything you hit super effective with a Crunch, Frostlass, Cresselia, there's just some wins. Or it looks like you can just out Body Slam spam a Ninetales. That is just Body Slam spam win right there. So for the most part, like lots of losses, but generally a medium middle distribution for Greedent. So for me, it doesn't move the needle too much. I still see it as, in terms of safe swaps, why do I always close it when I want to check like many other things? I want to see what PvPoke lists as safe swaps. But for me, Sableye and Lickitung are by far 1 and 2 in my books as safe swaps, and they are 2 and 3 here, and Medicham is 1, right? So in terms of best switches here, right now you have Medicham, Lickitung, Sableye, which I would agree. I would run those 3 over safe swaps over that. And then they have double Gligar and Walrein, and then Greedent. And you know what? I don't hate this list. Greedent and double basically play the same style, except you're a little faster charging with Mudshot over Double Kick, but Double Kick hits obviously harder. You both have Body Slam spam, and then you have a harder hitting payback compared to Crunch. Gligar, I think, as in my video that I did 2 days ago now, I actually think 2 days ago, or is it yesterday? It was yesterday. Holy smokes, I'm shooting a lot of videos here. Yesterday in the morning, Gligar for me is worth the hype. I think that Wing Attack, Aerial Ace, Dig is a very deadly combo. Again, you're going to lose to water and you're going to lose to ice. That's fine. But in neutral situations, being able to have fast charging moves like that, plus Dig that actually hurts a lot, plus Aerial Ace, which is just spam, I think that Gligar is a pretty good safe swap. Walrein, well, again, Walrein was one of those Pokemon that was always a good safe swap back in the day. It was a little trickier once Lantern came in. Like, Medicham, you knew you were going to lose, but you can just... it's a Shadow Walrein. So if you have the Powder Snow Icicle Spear, you can actually just land 2 Icicle Spears on the Medi and be okay. But the problem was Lantern started showing up everywhere, which made Walrein much trickier to run. And now it's got an Earthquake nerf, not a ton, but it's a nerf. So there's that. And then Greedent is number 8 on here. Actually, Gliscor is number 7 as opposed to Gligar, which again, same sort of function, just like Flyer, fast wing attack, air lace plus dig, Earthquake coverage moves. Makes sense. And then Greedent is at number 8. And for me, for the Great League, I know PvPoke is just a resource. This is 100% accurate. This is 100% accurate based on what I have that I use as safe swaps and what I love using. I love using Lickitung as a safe swap. I love using Sableye as a safe swap. I think Medicham is, although you can get punished by Sableye, I've already talked about that Sableye matchup, and shields down. One foul play does not take you out from a Sableye, and you get to 2 Ice Punches with a counter advantage. So you get to 2 Ice Punch and take him down to the red. So even that terrible matchup is not bad. Some of the other ones like Koffingreek and stuff like that are probably worse, but again, that's just whatever. If you safe swap that and you see a Koffingreek, like, it's just unlucky, right? Otherwise, Medicham does okay. So Lickitung, Sableye, that double I think is good. I agree with Gligar is one of the top ones now. Walrein I'm a little more hesitant to use now, and then Greedent would be, if I don't have those other ones as safe swaps, I would be fine using Greedent as a safe swap. So that is essentially my ranking as well. The Mud Bomb makes it a little better as a safe swap, just because you can spam a little bit quicker, and then you can decide, depending on how many mud shot advantage you get there, you can decide how much you want to spam here. In this matchup in particular, you're seeing that I just have I have so much energy that I can now just absolutely destroy the Swampert, because I have just such an energy advantage that I just go 3 body slams back to back here for the win. That is your mud shot advantage. I didn't actually go over these battles because I'm double weak to fire here. These were the first 6 battles that I actually did. I went 6-0, but these are the first 6 battles that I did in the turnover of the season. So there's no point of talking about them. There's only a point of talking about what I believe the strengths and weaknesses are green there. So is Greedent worth a build up? Yes, I think so. Especially if you don't have XL high resources in Medicham. Like those are all the top 3 there. Medicham, Sableye, Lickitung are all very high XL resource intensive to get those. They are all worth it. All 3 of those are 100% worth it. So I would build those up if you can, but if you cannot, Greedent is a fine substitute as a safe swap for the Great League meta. So that is it. I guess I won't spoil the other one. So far, Gligar, worth the hype, 100%. Steelix, super overrated in my opinion. Some people disagreed with me, but some people who disagreed with me also said they didn't use Earthquake, or they changed the fast move. They either didn't use Dragon Tail and used Thunder Fang, so you're not resisted by like fairies and stuff and steals, or they used Psychic Fangs and Breaking Swipes, or Breaking Swipes and Crunch. They didn't use Earthquake, and a lot of my sort of why it's ranked so high and why I think it's overhyped from that perspective is a lot of times you need to bait the Breaking Swipes and then land an Earthquake. Some people said like, oh, you can just you use it as like a closer in the back is better. So yeah, like again, there are ways to use it. I'm just saying that my analysis isn't just like, I didn't say it's unusable. I just think that it has significant weaknesses for this meta that is everywhere. Fighters everywhere, water is everywhere, ground is everywhere, and a bunch of Pokemon just got more ground moves. So having those 3 weaknesses, being very bait dependent, like there just seems to be so many things going against it. And the non-stab, like that matchup against the Dugong, having to throw 3 Breaking Swipes and still not take it out and go lose down 2-1 shields was just like, come on. So yeah, that is my what I just have problems with why I created the series is I again, let me preface this. I get why they do it. I sometimes also clickbait because you need to clickbait in this game, in the YouTube game, because clicks, there's 3 things that get, so why people clickbait and why I created this series. People clickbait because there's 3 things that help you grow as a YouTuber. on videos, views of a video, what they call click-through rate, which is if you see the thumbnail, someone clicks on it, and then then the interaction and like stuff like that. So 1,000,000%, I 100% agree that they're just playing the YouTube game. They're like, oh, this Pokemon is the new meta. This Pokemon is broken. This Pokemon is OP, just to get you to click the views because that helps grow their channel. I don't like that. Again, I get it. I've done clickbait before. I just don't like doing that for they do it for every single Pokemon. It's not even it's not even subtle. Every new Pokemon is meta. Every new Pokemon is OP, but they're not. And a lot of these content creators focus more on their YouTube channel because this is a lot of them. This is their main job. This is a hobby for me, even though I do a ton of videos. This is actually a hobby. I got a full-time job. I don't need to clickbait you into building a Pokemon that you're not going to use and regret. I'm a free-to-play player. My resources are, again, I have 13 million deaths, but I'm very, very, very strict with what I build. And I don't think that you should build stuff unnecessarily. So that is why I created this series. I created this series like, yes, you're going to get the hyped up version from everyone else. If you want a realistic pro and con version, I even with the bad Pokemon, I'm like, okay, here, like in these scenarios, it is good. But here are the very obvious flaws. And that is why I created this series, because I think there is a real need for an honest look at these Pokemon without having to build them up yourself and run them. So that is why I built this series, and I know people are liking it, so thanks for sticking around. Hitmontop this afternoon. You'll get Hitmontop's real opinion there, and then you will get, right now I have Superior with Aerial Ace, and I am working, sorry, that is just my kid's monitor. And then, because I do this at 10 o'clock at night, because that's the only time I can do this, because I have a full-time job and have kids, so that is when I do this video. So Superior with Aerial Ace, looking at the Aerial Ace buff, and then I am working on I've done a few battles, but I've got to do more, Diggersby, with its new move. So those are my next two, and then we'll keep doing these new ones for this first week. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. I'll see you guys in the next one.